Now watch this. Arch your back like a cat. All right, that's putting tension across the shoulders, across the back, and it also affecting the neck. Now watch this. Without changing your arms at all, drop between your shoulders to the bottom. Just collapse. Now push up under tension. All right, this is called a round back and a rolling back, okay? Now watch this. Now drop between the shoulders, but don't change your arms. Bam. Let your head and neck be relaxed. All right, this means now, when I'm in this position, the bottom, my shoulders are actually higher than my neck. Do you get that? My shoulders are higher than my neck in this position. When I push with my shoulders and flex my neck, now the center point of my neck is higher than my shoulders. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm in a supported shoulder stand. When I push with my shoulders, I push my neck into the floor. All right? In order to create resistance, I have to flex or tense my neck. Okay? What I want to do is I want to collapse. All I need to do that is keep my arms straight. And then my neck is not projecting into the floor. There should be no tension on the neck. Right? And the reason why I'm making a point about the no tension on the neck thing is, from the neck to where you're holding the feet could be 5 or 6 feet. All right? The neck itself is only 8 or 12 inches long if you start, down at T4 up to the base of the head. So it's only a foot. Let's say it's a foot long. I've got a handle, a lever that's 5 feet long. Who do you think is going to win? Neck or lever? Okay, well, the lever's going to win every time. I've got way more leverage than you have, because I'm used literally from the shoulders to your ankles. I have as a lever against 8 inches of neck. Okay, so I have to really be vigilant to communicate to my client to keep their neck relaxed at all times. At all times. I want the pressure not on any part of the neck. I want the pressure only on the shoulders. Only on the shoulders. And with practice, both shoulders evenly. In other words, you want less roll. When you're starting to practice this, you'll notice your steering's not so great. As the feet come over, they and when you're up on the shoulder, it's going like, woo. It literally feels like it's balancing, okay? Over time, you want to reduce that. You want to have a line in your mind that when you pull the feet up and over, you project to the horizon. You have a line in your mind. And so there won't be twisting and rolling and all that. Because that's important. Because if I go to do the lift and I feel the client roll, that tells me they have arched their back or they're pushing with their neck against the floor. I don't even have to see it. Because if they're relaxed, then I'm coming up on the bar of the shoulders, which is wide. So it gives me a lot of lateral support. When I don't feel that lateral support, I know they've raised the shoulders up, pushed the neck, and are flexing the neck, and they've reduced the pressure point to C7, to this knot in the back of the bottom neck, upper shoulders, which means literally that's a pivot, it's a point. It can go in any direction, right? But practice, I can feel the difference between am I coming up onto a point versus coming up onto a wide, flat surface that will feel different, okay? The main thing is watch that neck, because if you don't, here's a caveat. If you don't watch the neck, you will occasionally hyperstrain someone's neck because you have way more leverage than they do, right? So if you don't watch the neck, if you're not aware whether people are flexing or tensing or pushing, you will occasionally create a strain injury with one of those people because you have so much leverage that actually you can try as hard as you want to keep your head straight, keep your neck locked. But I've got 5 feet of a lever, and no one here is strong enough to keep me from being able to tilt you over, right? So what would happen? Well, it's a wrestling match. Somebody's going to lose. Well, the problem is we're supposed to be practicing therapy in ahimsa. So therapy in ahimsa means You know, at first, at the very least, do no harm. I don't want to leave the client worse than I found them. Okay? And second is, I don't want to harm them. Right? So that's why, you know, when I see these kinds of things, why we have to pay attention. Certain positions are more risky than others. They are, because there is a potential risk. And so I don't pretend like, oh no, it's always safe for everyone. Well, actually, mechanically, it can't be. Mechanically, it can't be. Why? One, it's a balancing posture. Anytime you're balancing, responsible for someone else's center of gravity, you have assumed a responsibility for their integrity, of their self, okay, to some degree or another. In other words, if you can drop them, you can injure them. By definition, if you have someone in a position where you have enough leverage that you could drop them, then you actually have the potential to injure them. And to think otherwise is just naive and silly.
So can you skip a posture? Yeah.
Say it again.
Can you skip a posture if you are doing the routine and you see that it's not possible for them?
If it's not possible, and if you cannot do it with control and grace and following the breath, then you should skip the posture. Okay? Better to skip the posture, i.e. leave it out, move on to the next or what have you. Better to do that than to actually injure someone in the session. Okay? So,
Or yourself.
you know, but it's okay to challenge the boundaries. And with more experience than you may want, we are more challenging. You know? And there might be a point where I was doing a shoulder stand where I would do some strain, counter strain, and we push and release.
Okay.
Push and release.
Okay.
But see, I would do it on purpose. It would never be incidental to just something I'm doing. See, it's different. A lot of people mistake not paying attention for, oh, I'm doing strain and counter strain technique. I'm like, no, you're not. You're just not paying attention. It's different.